We are in the Maine kitchen this morning whipping up a viral dish from none other than Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah, local nutritionist Sara Sullivan is here to show us how to bake it ourselves at home. I have seen this all over the internet.
I have too.
Yes.
I'm excited to make
delicious.
Yes.
Yes.
So it really came out last year, and the rumor was that Jennifer Aniston ate this same salad for 10 years on the set while she was filming Friends. Now, there's some dispute about it. She said she does love this salad, but that the one she actually ate was more of a glorified Cobb. But we're going with this because it's so good, and you know, it's Jennifer Aniston.
I love the ingredients that I'm seeing already.
It smells good
It
already.
does smell delicious.
Yeah, super fresh, perfect for these hot days. So first we're going to make a dressing in our Super Bowl.
We love this bowl.
Right? So Stephanie, I'll have you add 2 tablespoons of olive oil.
Okay, Sarah, here we go. Right in?
Yep, right on in. And then Katie, you can squeeze the juice of 1 lemon. And this is really going to brighten it up. Lemon is super cleansing and detoxifying. So
that's smart to use that strainer
to
catch
so
the seeds.
helpful.
Why am I always just using my hand and then they drop in anyways?
I use this all the time. It's one of those things I didn't think would have as many purposes, but it does. So we'll squeeze that right on in.
Perfect.
And then Stephanie, you can add a teaspoon of minced garlic.
Okay.
Right in that little jar. Yep. You can do more or less depending on how much you like it. And then we're just going to let this sit. And while it sits, we're going to cook up some quinoa. So there's a couple things that make quinoa really fluffy. So first you want to take your quinoa. You can buy it in bulk. And you do want to rinse it because it has something called saponin on it, which actually repels pests. But if you don't rinse it, it's going to have a bitter taste. So definitely rinse it.
I never knew that.
And then with rice, we do a 1-to-1 ratio of grain to water. But with quinoa you want to do 1 to 1.5.
Okay, because
if not, it's going to get really mushy. So a lot of times when people have a bad experience with it, it's because they use too much water.
Gotcha. Okay,
I just a little bit less water. Okay.
And I like to cook it in broth. So I use these bouillon cubes. They impart a wonderful flavor.
That adds some flavor,
Yeah, and quinoa is actually a seed, not a grain. It's gluten-free, and it's a complete source of protein.
Amazing.
I know. Jennifer Aniston knew.
Yeah, so she knew from the beginning.
You're giving me some confidence here, Sarah, to cook with quinoa.
You can do it. And it's perfect for meal prep, too, because if you make a big batch, you can add it into stir-fries, soups, salads, you name it. Okay.
Love.
So next we're going to chop our veggies. So Stephanie, I'm going to have you do the cucumber.
Okay.
And the secret to this is we want to slice everything into bite-sized pieces. So when you take a forkful, you get a little bit of everything.
Yes.
Katie, I'm going to have you cut 1 red onion.
You already helped me out a little bit here,
with making the vertical slices. And then I'm going to chop up the fresh herbs. So we're first going to use parsley. We're going to cut the woody ends off. And then we're just going to kind of roll this up and just chop away. Now, parsley is phenomenal for digestion. I don't know if you ever recall or have had a little sprig of parsley on the side of your dinner plate. It looked like it was for garnish, but it's actually to eat at the end of the meal to help you digest.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No. So, onion looks great.
I know. Fun facts,
Pop
right?
this right in.
Yep. Scoop it right on in there.
Amazing. I love red
Katie,
onion.
that was fast.
I know.
Sarah helped me. You had the tougher job. But you're doing great.
So you don't want to skimp on the fresh herbs because that's what really brings this dish to life. So you can toss those right on in.
Does that look small enough?
No.
Perfect.
Okay.
You did a great job.
Perfect.
The cucumber is super hydrating. So again, great to have on these hot summer days. And I like to use the English cucumbers because the skin is a little bit thinner, a little bit subtle sweetness.
Okay.
And then we're just going to chop some fresh mint.
Ooh.
I know.
That elevates it.
It really does. Do not skip this. Mint is super easy to grow, even if you're horrible at killing houseplants like myself. And mint also helps with if you have indigestion or bloating. So a great addition to this. I'll have you add in 1 can of rinsed and drained chickpeas. So this is going to add a little bit more fiber, some protein. Then you can add in our quinoa.
Okay.
All of it?
All of it.
Yeah. We were both like, that's a lot of quinoa.
So it's 1 cup of uncooked quinoa, and it comes out to probably about 2.5 cups.
That's funny. Yeah, it really does.
It does kind of bulk
quite
up.
fluffy.
And then Stephanie, you can add in that whole thing. We've got 1/2 cup of feta cheese in there. So this is going to give a nice saltiness. I mean, cheese really makes a salad, right?
It does.
If you don't like feta, which I know a lot of people don't, you could always do goat cheese. You could do shaved Parmesan, would also be another great option. And last but not least, we've got 1/2 cup of roasted, salted pistachios.
Oh, I love pistachios.
All right, so we'll give this a good mix and just make sure, now the dressing, oops, sorry.
That's okay.
Dressing's at the bottom. That's the problem with the big bowl.
Yes.
Dressing's at the bottom, so we want to make sure that we coat everything well.
And this dressing was very simple.
I know you really don't need a lot because all of
Right.
the flavors in the salad are going to take center stage, right? So it's just to
That's so
kind of
nice.
like
I
help.
love a simple salad
Yes.
dressing.
Yeah. And I mean, you can't go wrong with fresh lemon juice in the summer, right?
Oh yeah, that's gorgeous.
So then I usually recommend tasting it first before we add salt and pepper, just because we do have the broth with the quinoa, and we also
Right.
have some salt with the feta, so we don't want to over salt this,
Right.
but just a little pinch, and then you can kind of taste it and add more or less depending on what you like, and that's it.
Amazing. And you got the
Delicious
garlic
salad.
in there too, so that does add a really nice flavor.
Yeah.
So
as
there's
well.
some solid nutrition in here. With
Yeah.
the quinoa, I'm looking at, is that protein? What would that be?
Yeah, so this really is the perfect combination of protein, quality carbohydrates, like good carbohydrates.
So you
You've
say
got some
full.
healthy fat. Yep, and then lots of fiber. So the fiber is going to keep us full and satiated. And this is perfect for meal prep. This salad
Yeah.
will last for, at least 3 days in the fridge. So if you make a little extra, you've got a quick lunch to go.
I love
Nice
it.
big bowl.
I think this could be a great side for a barbecue. You
Yes,
know,
people love it.
Yeah, or you could put like salmon on top of it or something.
That's
Yes.
a
Sounds
good
really nice,
idea.
too.
Add a protein there.
Salmon or chicken.
Yeah.
So lots of room for variation.
I think Jennifer Aniston, she was on it from the
Yeah.
beginning. And now we
Jen's
can
on to
recreate
something.
it. I love it.
All right, thanks so much, Sarah, for
Thank
joining us
you.
today. I just love your dishes.
Oh, thank
they're
you.
the best. And where can people find this recipe and others?
At sarasullivan.com.
Lovely.